Hello everyone, and welcome to a new edition of Jefferson College Today, coming to you from the JCTV studio. I'm Public Relations and Marketing Director Roger Barrentine, bringing you the latest news and information about your community college with locations in Hillsborough, Arnold, Imperial, and online. Today, I'll be talking about all things athletics as I visit with Bob Deutschman, Jefferson College's new Director of Athletics. So stay tuned for Jefferson College Today. Hi Bob, welcome to Jefferson College Today. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Roger.
Well, tell us, for those that don't know, what does the job of being a community college director of athletics entail?
Boy, that's a really it's a really involved question. Everything that you would imagine, you know, I think at our level it requires a lot more direct involvement. Maybe at the levels above, you're involved directly in everything. So, not that you do everything, but you're directly involved in everything. So it takes a pretty diversified, simple yet large skill set to kind of just manage the whole thing. But it has the components of a large athletics department. But like not just myself, but the entire staff is they have a main focus. But there's auxiliary duties that are attached that are also going to be involved. And so you have to certainly have a specialty, but it also includes, you know, chipping in other areas, other support areas, but certainly the compliance side, the fiscal side, here the public relations side, game management, everything that requires to run an athletics department.
Having had previous experience as both a head baseball coach as well as experience at the professional level, being a professional baseball scout, how do the skills in that part of your life, how do they translate now into what you're going to be doing here at Jefferson College?
Well, I'd like to think my lengthy time on the field in multiple capacities, I'd like to believe if you ask the staff, the coaching staffs that I've worked with would say that would be my strength, just simply because I come from where they come. My instincts are at a coaching level. I'm dealing directly with athletes on a very daily basis for all those years. I think it offers an insight that just allows you to see that side from the inside out, not just from the outside in. It gives you an internal perspective, not only of the student athlete, but certainly the teams itself and the process of raising an intercollegiate competitive team. So I just think it just having that familiarity long term. For some of my staff, the younger, you become kind of a sounding board, and I hate using the word mentor, but just a second pair of eyes. We have some senior staff that have been doing this for a long period of time, and for there, that's not really the role that you take on. That you're taking on a colleague, and you're just making sure that their needs are met and the support that they need to produce competitively solid programs that do well in and out of on and off the court and field, and but just having that insight, I think, is a great advantage.
Is it difficult for you, baseball being your firstborn, if you will, is it hard for you to separate, trying to treat all the other programs equal? There's soccer, there's volleyball, there's basketball. Is it hard at all to separate from having a passion about baseball to needing to treat all those programs on an equal footing?
Well, I mean, there's no doubt that your instinct. I mean, my instincts will always. Baseball will be a part of me, just my inside out. My son plays baseball. Baseball is a part of my upbringing and a part of my entire professional career. But I actually would say, when I came off the field in 2013 and moved exclusively into the administrative side of this, that what I enjoyed the most was my exposure to other sports, specifically female sports. It's funny when I looked at it. I coached baseball my life, which means I exclusively coached males. From the adult perspective, all my assistants were males. So that was the uniqueness of moving into the other, is dealing not only with female athletes but female staff and head coaches, and it's the part that I enjoyed the most, just simply because it was kind of a diversion from the 23 years of dealing with the exact same sport and the exact same scenario. So I really and the female programs were fun. It's just a different culture in the female athletic part, a much more team-oriented. They seem to enjoy themselves. I don't think in some cases they see themselves potentially playing beyond the college level. So they really make sure they enjoy that part. A lot of that, especially in baseball, certainly in Florida and here as well, that many of the players I coached were trying to get beyond the college level, and they saw it as a career, which paints it in a bit of a different picture. It's not just a game, it's a potential occupation with large amounts of money attached to it, with the family also attached to that thought. So it was just a different dynamic. So I really enjoyed just the holistic side of the female athletic side specifically. And on the males are getting exposed to soccer, which baseball coaching is a very long season, and so you spend great deals of time on the field where I never had an opportunity to go to many of our games other than our own when I was coaching, so that part was fun.
Given the fact that you were a candidate, ultimately a finalist, obviously, for the Director of Athletics position, what was it specifically, Bob, about Jefferson College that interested you in this position?
Yeah, and this was one of the questions that came up in that set interview. Where I came from at Broward College, which I spent 17 great years at, and Broward, just a quick background. Broward is a huge institution, 3 major campuses, twice this size, multiple satellite campuses attached to it. It's just a very, very large bureaucratic institution. And is often the case at our level, that sometimes the bigger the school, the smaller, or should I say the less emphasized athletics can be. You can get lost to just the size of it. What attracted me here, this is the opposite. A single campus, small but a beautiful setting. The interview process right off the bat was immediately told me this was different. I met with your current and your retiring president, ours I should say. I got to get used to that thought. And we spent about a good hour and a half together. It was only supposed to be an hour, but it extended an hour and a half. And I thought that was great that they would be that interested in the position and take that amount of time in their day to speak to a potential candidate. And then went further and met with staff. But the day concluded, I've told the story a couple of times. Kim Harvey, who's the Vice President of Student Affairs, who is my boss, and I've thoroughly enjoyed working with her to this point and certainly anticipate that to continue. But she was taking me through the process, and I had an itinerary, and the last part of the day was just deemed as the open forum. And I glanced at it when I saw the itinerary, didn't really know what that meant. So we got to the end, and I was pretty tired. Long day of travel, so forth, and just the process to that point. But I looked at her, I said, "This open forum, what is this?" And it was a Monday at 4:30. We were late, and she said, "Well, it's the opportunity for the administration of the college to come out. It's an open invitation for those that were on the search committee to get to know the candidates." And I just kind of looked at her. I'm like, "Is anybody going to show up? This is 4 o'clock on a Monday." And she just said, "Well, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people there. They're already there waiting for you." I'm like, "Well, how many?" And she said, "Well, there's a lot. You'll see." And I walked in the room, and there was, and of course you were there. It was easily 30 people there, and it was an energy surge hit just simply because it's a huge shift from where I'm from. That to have the college, the support of the college, the administrative staff of the college to be that interested in this position, just. I got done with the interview. I was tired, but called my wife and basically said, if this opportunity comes our way, we're going to take it. So you need to start to get your mind into moving from South Florida to Hillsborough, Missouri, so to speak. But that was very enjoyable.
At this point, you have had the opportunity to meet the coaching staff, meet the support staff in the department. What are some of the things you're doing now? You mentioned the fact you're coming to Jefferson from a much larger institution in Florida. What are the things that you're doing now to not only learn about the culture at Jefferson College, but understand the policies and the operations of how the department and the college work?
I think you pretty much summed it up, what I'm doing now, and I think you very concisely put where I'm at this point. As I would describe, I had my first staff meeting when I had with the group you're referring to, and as I told them, I said, at this point today, I'm the most ignorant guy in the room. It's not a position that I seek, but it's energizing to me. But the externals are very similar to what I came from. It's a NJCA 2-year level school. The sport menu is actually 2 less than what I had at Broward. So all the externals are very similar. I knew going in, I was very confident in that part. But it was the internals, learning just in the interview process, they asked me what my goals of the first 100 days would be. That after the first 100 days, I could answer that question. That I could, what would be my vision, and clearly here, as that vision is a shared vision from the board, which I look forward to my first board meeting coming up on the 12th. Certainly from the presidential position, from all the senior management stuff. It is a collaborative decision. That it's not, it's not a job right now that is at the sole discretion of the person in the department, namely me. I mean, it's a collaboration. It's a shared vision. I'm learning the college. I'm getting a feel for what that big picture thought process is as to what we are and what they like to see us become. And that's enjoyable to me. That it is a shared vision. It's just reflective of the culture that's here.
And for a final thought today, when someone talks about having a successful athletics department or a successful athletics program, that can mean a number of different things. Sure. to different people. In your definition, you're the new person in terms of the job here. What does that equate to in terms of how you define success for Jefferson College and your department?
Well, certainly at our level, that there's no answer to that question that in some way, shape, or form doesn't involve competitive success. That is certainly a part of it. I think where we get into scenarios where winning equals success, and there's components of it. There's no way you could take a quantifiable analysis of an athletics department without looking at what they did from a competitive perspective. But it's a part of it. I think success is a great word, and success is greater than winning. I think that the mathematical equation, the equals, it's not appropriate there. It's much greater. It's striving for certainly academic, social, and competitive excellence. And I would just generally say that and feel the statement would be very supportive here, that it's far better for any of our programs to fall short of their competitive aspirations or goals the right way with the right people than it would be to reach high levels of quantitative competitive success the wrong way with the wrong people. That I think that is the sum of all fears or failure of it, certainly at an institution of our level, and certainly here in this type of community, that doing the best you can with the right people the right way is more than acceptable here, and I think that serves as it's foundational as well as it's uplifting. It creates a clear vision for me. It's okay. We'd rather lose a game the right way than go about it the wrong way or with the wrong people, and make sure we're applying very appropriate standards to our players and coaches and myself. Make sure that they're upheld, and when that's not, that winning doesn't excuse it.
Bob, we're about out of time today. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely, Roger.
Welcome to Jefferson College.
Thank you very much.
We're glad to have you here.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Take care.
Well, that will do it for this edition of Jefferson College Today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.